I can't watch baseball. I find it too long, not that exciting, and it's not hockey. I can, however, watch movies about baseball, and this 1992 movie starring Tom Selleck and his mustache. Well, let's review Mr. Baseball. It starts out with Jack playing for the Detroit Tigers, where he gets struck out way past strike 3, and then it turns out to be a nightmare, where he wakes up in a dorm room with a young girl who presumably he had sex with, in a really small bed, full of a room of young girls in small beds. Now I know we're supposed to get that they're younger than him, but those bed sizes aren't big enough for the girls. Next, he's in a dugout playing pranks on teammates while watching a rookie who's eventually going to replace him. His agent comes by to tell him he was dropped from his ad because of his bad boy behavior. Tom's got to be like in his mid-30s in this. Come on, leave that bad boy behavior behind. Management drags him into the office to tell him that he's been traded to the Japan Chunichi Dragons. He arrives, meets the president of the team, has a press conference with his brand new translator Yoji, makes a lot of 80s stereotype jokes before he goes home, watches TV, and ices his knee to show that he's an aging first baseman.
See, just because you speak English doesn't mean we speak the same language, see?
Throughout the movie, he continues to learn customs of his new surroundings, and then he meets an American-born player named Hammer, played by Dennis Haysbert, who's probably best known for playing the president on 24. After that, you get the usual mentions of mustache rides, a beautiful girl asking him out for dinner from the stands, and cocky Jack is hitting the ball out of the park until he's forced to face an unusual pitch in Japan known as shitu. He can't beat it. Also, there's a lot of bathroom and shower jokes.
What's next? Somebody gonna tell me how to go to the can? Hey Max, I need somebody to tell me how to go to the can.
Hammer introduces Jack to some of his American friends before he goes out to dinner with Hiroko. She tells him that Japan basically takes the best of everything around the world and makes it her own. That's a ringing endorsement for her German Volkswagen car. Jack tends to be a hothead. When he finds out he has to do ads as part of his contract, he tries to walk away and be all cool, but he doesn't know where he lives. He needs Hiroko to drive him home. During his first game, Jack does manage to get on base, but he quickly learns that in Japan, no game continues after 15 innings, even if it is tied. Fast forward 11 games later, and the newspaper's boasting how well he and the club are doing. However, Jack continues to be his usual difficult self most days. They play the Yomiuri Giants and get their ass kicked. Hammer says that's a usual occurrence. The coach is pretty unhappy because Jack didn't listen to him and got struck out by Shito when he was told to bunt. And the coach's job is on the line this year to beat the Yomiuri Giants. Hanging out with Hiroko, Jack lists 4 things he sucks at, and his opening up to her led to a better day for him. I mean, she comes up to his apartment for a beer, offers him a massage, draws him a bath, which leads to some implied sex. Jack says his whole life that he wanted to hit the ball. Now he's afraid that he's gonna miss it.
I will hit. I will hit. I will hit.
At the next game, Jack gets hit by the ball and doesn't understand that when you do this in Japan, it means their soaring was unintentional, and he charges the mound. The whole team gets in the brawl. Jack gets suspended, and the coach gets told he's getting replaced once they can find a suitable replacement. Next, Hiroko takes Jack out to meet her grandparents and have dinner with her father, and father turns out to be coach. Hiroko set this all up and wanted them to mend fences, and she storms off angry. It was to get them to spend time together. We find out Yukiyama, his coach, wanted him on the team, and he picked him over another American player because he felt he had more years left in him.
You were sloppy, but you had a big season left in you. At least I thought so. Was I right?
Hey, tapes don't lie.
You want to find out?
Then we get a training montage, turning a baseball player into an athlete, bonding, the team comes out and actually joins him, the whole, you're not ready to hit the baseball yet, and he's hitting golf balls at a golf course with a bat. And then it's like the whole Kung Fu thing where you're like, you're not ready to learn Kung Fu, now do wax on, wax off, haha, you know Kung Fu now. Jack goes to apologize to Hiroko with flowers and French wine. The message is nice, that in relationships you need to accept one another for who they are, or there will always be conflict. Jack gets back into the next game, but Yukiyami's still keeping the team on a short leash, such as a pitcher that makes a mistake gets pulled, but Yukiyami's being told to let him play through the game. So Jack takes it upon himself to go to his house for ancient Japanese tradition, get drunk and tell off your boss. Now that the team is winning, Jack's agent calls him and says that the Dodgers want him next week. This causes relationship troubles between him and Hiroko because she doesn't just want to go to America with no purpose and be some ball player's girlfriend. They have a championship game against the Giants, and the team hazes Jack back by lighting his shoe on fire. Also, the Giants are afraid Jack's going to break the home run record, so they walk him several times. Yukiyami lets his pitcher play himself out of trouble, and when Jack goes up to bat, he tells him to swing away, knowing that it's going to break his home run record.
Swing away.
Maybe I'll break your record.
I said, swing away.
Yes, Chief.
And Jack, after a couple dramatic swings, bunts and allows his team to win the pennant by getting a run in. In the end, Hammer ends up getting a job with the Dodgers, and Yukiyami tells his bosses that his contract extension is going to be quite expensive before he goes and visits his daughter on Jack's behalf, but he actually ends up repairing his relationship with her. Flash forward to the Detroit Tigers practice where Jack is just hitting the ball to the field and all the baseball wives are telling Hiroko that your man has still got it. And she says yep, while she's managing some business deal on the phone. She's got a purpose. Jack starts giving pointers out to one of the players who ends up calling him Chief, which means he's the coach, not a player. It was a swerve on us. Overall, this movie is enjoyable and full of messages of tolerance and adapting to situations and learning to become better. It's a nice blend of sports and different cultures clashing, and a stubborn Tom Selleck and his mustache at the heart of it all. It's been a long time since I've seen this, and it still holds up as an enjoyable movie. As always, thanks for watching.